It is an absolutely splendid Monday afternoon and early evening in the southern half of Madison County. A pair of Hoosier Heritage Conference rivals meet. It is the Golden Bears of Shelbyville visiting the Arabians of Pendleton Heights. Alongside Joel Brantingham, Greg Rakestraw with you. Thank you so much for joining us for high school baseball here on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network. Shelbyville comes in at 4-6. Pendleton Heights at 6-2 and undefeated in Hoosier Heritage Conference play. Joel, always good to see you, my friend, and your thoughts on today's game before we have our first pitch.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to work with you today. Certainly we couldn't ask for a better day. 73 degrees at first pitch and partly cloudy skies. It's gorgeous. Ernie Banks might say let's play too. It's such a nice day, but because in the spring, I mean, it's so unpredictable what the weather's going to be like. It certainly has been this year, but a picture-perfect day, and the grass looks great. The infield's going to be a little thick. I think that's one interesting thing we'll have to wait and see about ground balls on this infield today.
You made the Ernie Banks reference on playing, too. I don't know about that, but this is a Wrigley Field infield. This is thick. The grass is lush, and you will see some ground balls affected, slowed down here between these two conference foes. Both these two had the weekend off because they were slated to play 2 on Saturday. Obviously, Mother Nature got in the way. So it's been converted into a single game today. In fact, this was a late change on the schedule. This was slated to be a non-conference game for Pendleton Heights against Shenandoah. We'll see the Raiders tomorrow when they visit Henry County rival Newcastle. First pitch to the leadoff man, freshman catcher Charlie Reif is at the plate. And you already saw the information on the starting pitcher in Walker Stahl, his ERA. Once you're sub-1, it is microscopic, .82 his ERA on the season. This is his 5th appearance of the season, 3-0. He's thrown some 17 innings and have given up just 2 earned runs on the season. Rifle spray that one found. The count is 0-2.
Well, you talked about makeup games. Athletic directors earn their money anyway, but especially in spring sports because you have to make a lot of changes to the schedule, but players always seem to adjust.
This one hopped to home plate. The backstop is Ben Richards. Defensive alignment around him. Mollenkoff, the third baseman. Casas, the shortstop. Wyatt Douglas is at second. And Cole Miller is at first, which the outfield in a matter of moments. Just misses that one a bit high and inside. Count it 2-2. Out in left field is Evan Douglas. Camden Early is the center fielder. And Hunter Eikenberry is the right fielder today for the Arabians. For head coach Travis Kiesling, and the count runs full now at 3-2. Stahl has not walked many batters this year. He has walked 8. He has struck out 32. He won't get either. Ground ball slowed down. Shortstop, can he get it in time? Yep. And there was an example of the carpet really slowing things down. I wouldn't say a sharply hit ground ball, but subtly hit. It turned into an easy play for the shortstop for Pendleton Heights.
Yeah, Casas, he took his time. He wasn't trying to hurry. Sometimes that's a tendency on a play like that. If you do have a slow infield, in this case, to want to hurry the throw. But he took his time. Nice job fielding it, throwing time.
Eden Balting, the shortstop for Shelbyville. See his average on the season, 5 runs batted in. Line drive, that's knocked down by the pitcher. There will not be a play. That'll be a base hit, and hopefully he's all right. Doesn't seem to be too affected by it. They'll check him out just to make sure. But it is a single for the number 2 batter for Shelbyville.
Yeah, there wasn't anything any of the infielders could have done there. That ball was a slow roller anyway, and went off the pitcher and came to rest in the grass. But yeah, I don't want to see back at her. He says he's okay.
Yep,
so.
they may give him one pitch just to make sure.
Yep. Good idea.
And by all accounts, he's ready to go. Yep. One pitch and good to go. Bears coming in at 4-6 on the season.
We talked about the spring weather being unpredictable. The Golden Bears have been unpredictable this season too. They've had some impressive wins, especially over 4A number 8 Columbus North, 4-3. But then they've also been shut out by Indian Creek and lost to Knightstown on a couple of their L's so far. But yeah, you never know. I mean, it seems like anyway this season what you're going to get from them.
Swing and a miss by Colin Mahan, the center fielder. From an average standpoint, by far the tops amongst the Golden Bears, batting .444 on the season. 4 runs batted in. That one gets away from the catcher. And hadn't talked about this in the broadcast yet, but setting eyes in this field for the first time, one of the things that is noticeable is there is a lot of room behind home plate. So anything that gets away from the catcher, that's a free 90 feet.
Well, just in foul territory in general. I mean, down the lines, runners have fielders. I mean, they have a lot of room to run. Or foul balls. That's not always the case in high school baseball.
The Shelbyville team has been off since last Tuesday because of the weather. For the most part, teams had their athletic events scrapped on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of last week. We got lucky at 9-Star. We had a little Thursday softball that played through the rain between New Powell and Mount Vernon. But virtually everybody was canceled on Friday and Saturday. And that one also will get behind the catcher. And now without benefit of an additional base hit or moving a runner over, the runner in Balting has gone from first to third on a pair of wild pitches.
Well, here's a great opportunity for the Golden Bears to get on the board first. Still only one out, runner 90 feet away. So you know they'd love to at least get that runner home from third here and get on the board first this afternoon.
So 3-1 the count. This one popped up and will get out of play. And of note now, it's with a runner at third and one out. First baseman and third baseman are playing even with the bags. A ground ball that would get to second base or shortstop would likely score the run. So generally, you'd say they're playing back, and that's not surprising in the top of the first. Trade a run for an out. Forget that, though, because you get the over-the-top curveball. I'm not sure if that was 12-6, maybe more 11-5 as it broke out of the zone. But able to cross that corner and get the call for out number 2 and strikeout number 1 for Stoll. It is his 33rd K of the season. He's nearly averaging 2 strikeouts per inning pitch so far.
Not bad, but man, you could tell he was trying to decide until the last second whether he was going to swing at that or let it go.
Corey Taylor, first pitch swinging, pops it up, and Casas, the shortstop, barely has to move. And Shelbyville will strand a man at third base. And they're opening half of the inning. So 1 hit, 2 wild pitches, but no damage done. Our score is Shelbyville 0 and Pendleton Heights coming to bat. We'll get you the Pendleton Heights lineup in a matter of moments.
All right, a nice job by Pendleton Heights of not allowing that run to score. I was talking about it at the time that the Golden Bears had a runner at third, 1 out. Great opportunity to get on the board first here on this conference road game. Not able to do that, so a nice job by the Arabians to prevent that runner from scoring, especially since a couple of wild pitches moved him over there in the first place. That can kind of rattle a pitcher sometimes and make the defense feel a little bit uneasy, but that did not happen, so the Arabians have to feel pretty good about themselves, but the Golden Bears also, I'm sure, know that the rest of this game, when they have opportunities like that, they're going to need to take advantage of it.
Now you see Travis Kiesling, his 6th season head coach here at Pendleton Heights, getting the start today for Shelbyville. Is Connor Beagle, a senior. 5.25 is his ERA on the year. This is his 5th appearance on the season. Does have a win and a loss, 18 2/3 innings. And he has walked 4, struck out 13 on the season. The 9 he will face for Pendleton Heights, Evan Douglas in left field bats leadoff. Wyatt Douglas, the second baseman, bats second. Rene Casas is the top batter from an average perspective for the Arabians. He'll bat third. Cole Miller, the first baseman, with 9 runs batted in, bats cleanup. Camden Early is the center fielder batting 5th. Ben Richards, the catcher, bats 6th. Hunter Eichenberry, the right fielder, bats 7th. Dalton Molenkopf will bat 8th. He is the third baseman. And Walker Stoll, the pitcher, bats 9th. Interesting of note, neither team using a DH in today's game. Both pitchers, it's not surprising that both pitchers will bat, but sometimes you'll still see an extra bat out of the lineup. Both coaches, they're starting 9, they're batting 9 in today's game.
Yeah, both pitchers pretty good athletes and hitters, including Beagle. He is the Golden Bears ace, so he's out there and considered, at least by some people I talked to, just the best overall player on the team.
Evan Douglas, 261, the average for the senior. 5 runs batted in. Batting average is pretty impressive, spots 2 through 5 for Pendleton Heights. They kind of dip down spots 6 through 9. As a team, though, 320 on the year. They are averaging nearly 8.5 runs per game. Coming in at 6-2, their 2 losses, both to a couple of solid 4A programs. Hamilton Southeastern the first week of the season. And then a loss to former state champion Brownsburg, 8-7 in 8 innings. Of course, it is a Brownsburg program that boasts 3 Major League Baseball players as alumni. Now, they are not kind of the program now they were back then, but you get the point. A little flare that will drop behind the second baseman. That was up and over Brandon Bass, who couldn't make the play. And in the box score, that's a line drive from Evan Douglas, leadoff man aboard for the Arabians.
A screaming liner, even though it kind of fell in there. I don't know if the wind had any effect, but it looks like the wind has picked up a little bit, at least since before the game started. So we'll see how that affects fly balls, especially to the left today.
We are facing kind of to the northeast here at Bill Stout Field, and the flags kind of alternate from going out to left and kind of across the field from right to left. Neither of these two teams have been much in the home run business so far this year. This is Wyatt Douglas, and on the pop-up bunt puts that up and over our press box location. One thing that both teams have shown the ability to do is try to steal bases. 14 steals on the year so far for Pendleton Heights, 22 in a couple of more games played for Shelbyville. In other words, moving runners over, part of the MO for each of these two teams.
Oh, that's big in high school baseball to be able to do that. That's going to help you score more runs.
The best of the speed merchants in terms of the Arabians is the young man that's at the plate. Wyatt Douglas has 6 of those 14 stolen bases on the season. Was taken all the way on that one, misses low and away, and the count evens up at 1-1.
I guess you call it small ball, whatever you want to, but a lot of coaches at this level believe in that, doing what they can to move runners over and get them in.
That's amazing to think in Major League Baseball how much that has gone away.
Right.
And how prevalent it still is in high school and college baseball. Tries to put the bunt down. Pitcher bobbles, but still should have time, and does eventually. So it is a sacrifice, out-recorded 1-3, but runner in scoring position now with 1 down.
It didn't look like to me that Beagle really thought that long or hard about throwing to second. I think especially after that initial bobble, did the right thing, just concentrated on getting the runner out at first.
So here is Rene Casas with 11 runs batted in. That is the top number for Pendleton Heights. Again, that's 11 runs batted in just 8 games. Batting a crisp .480 on the season. Casas, a senior. Listed on the roster as a shortstop, catcher, and pitcher. He is the shortstop today, and that's in for a strike. 0-1 the count.
You know, I've heard some TV analysts and even fans talk about the fact that they would like to see more small ball in the big leagues, but like I said, it's pretty much gone away, except somebody did steal home. There was a straight steal home not too long ago.
You may have been watching the Sandlot and confused. That was Benny the Jet Rodriguez that stole home. Oh, okay, you're actually talking about an actual game. Because that's the last time I saw somebody steal home was the end of the Sandlot over the course of the weekend.
I think it was against Chris Sale. No, it was against the lefty who never saw him take off.
Given Sale's motion, I understand completely. And he went chasing on that one. Runner going to try to advance. There might be a play at third. Throw down and couldn't get the pick in time. So a heady base running by Evan Douglas. Casas now finds himself in a 1-2 hole. But as you watch the replay here, first run of the game is now potentially 90 feet away for Pendleton Heights.
Yeah, good throw. Might have had him. Obviously, it was to the foul side of third. But at least didn't get away. That's a big thing. Sometimes a risk when you take when you make a throw like that.
We'll give him credit for a stolen base here, because that ball was in the dirt, but wasn't that far away. And Casas delivers. And that ball gets away from the left fielder. Casas will make the turn at first, but then wisely will head back. He'll settle for his 12th RBI of the season, and the Arabians jump on the board first.
And I don't know how often he gets compared to Joey Votto, but this swing kind of reminds me of a Joey Votto type swing, where it wasn't maybe truly a full swing. It was kind of a half, three-quarter swing, but it was certainly enough to get it over the infield. That was probably one of his objectives, was just get it over the infield, and fell in for the RBI hit.
Cole Miller, 9 runs batted in. And he just looks the part of the first baseman, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
And that ball, Reif got away from him. And that ball then skied. Didn't get that far away from the catcher, but because it got so high in the air, made it an easy play for Casas.
And he didn't know where it was at first. He had trouble locating it for a little while. He did a complete 360 there before he finally figured out where the ball was, but it did make a difference as far as the runner's concerned.
So Casas now at second base. This is where most of the damage gets done in the Pendleton Heights lineup, is at the top of the order. Miller 9 runs batted in this season. Miller, a senior for Pendleton Heights. The Arabians went 15-16 a season ago. This one lashed to right field, gets down for a base hit. They're going to hold Casas there, and that's a good idea. That was a heck of a throw in by Rupert in right. The runners on the corners, and Joel now 3 of the first 4 batters up for Pendleton Heights have base hits.
Well, and they're taking advantage of their opportunities right now. That ball was hit pretty hard, so got right fielder on a hop, did a good job of returning it to the infield to make sure that run didn't score. But Golden Bears couldn't take advantage of an opportunity to score in the first, but the Arabians, their offense clicking right now.
Camden Early. He and Casas, along with Douglas, all 400 or better so far in the season. He has 10 runs batted in and has 2 of the 4 home runs that the Arabians have hit this year. Foul tip, and that ricocheted both off the catcher and the home plate umpire.
Well, that'd be huge for the Arabians if he could hit one out right here.
That one went off the mask of Rife and then right into the right arm of our home plate umpire. He's going to do as all good catchers do. You walk the ball to the pitcher, give the man in blue behind you a chance to collect his bearing just a little bit.
There's always something the catcher can say to the pitcher. That's not a problem either. Have a good opportunity to communicate with him with a couple runners on here.
If you wear the gear, you take care of each other behind home plate.
Yep.
First baseman, third baseman, either holding runners on or even with the bags. Middle infielders will try to turn 2. Rife does a good job of keeping that one in front of him. And the count levels out at 1-1.
Yeah, he's just a freshman, but he is doing a good job back there. He's getting a workout so far in this game, too, with all the balls that have been in the dirt.
The way that Pendleton Heights has hit the ball so far has been indicative of their year. Curveball just breaks a bit late, 2-1 the count. And by that I mean they're not doing much in the way of extra base hits. They have 73 hits on the season. 17 have been for extra bases. You just keep putting enough guys on, you're going to score enough runs to win games. Ground ball. Not going to be hard enough to get 2. They don't even get 1. That was a tough turn. And probably in hindsight, it would have been better just to easier to go to first and get the out. Instead, you get nobody out on the play. Casas scores regardless, and the Arabians jump out to a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, especially with a runner at third. He was thinking about getting the guy at second. Good throw might have had him. But, yeah, in hindsight, I'm sure if he had to do it over again, he would have just made the safe out at first. But that didn't happen, and the Arabians get another run and are looking to keep this inning going.
We'll give the RBI to Early. Another ground ball. This might be 2. There's 1. Throw on, not in time. Ball gets away from the first baseman, but nowhere far enough for Miller to think about making the sprint towards home. There's now 2 down, but runners on the corners as Richards was first pitch swinging.
And that's a really difficult play for a first baseman on a bounce like that, but Martin did a good job of keeping the ball in front of him, making sure it didn't squirt away and roll toward the dugout and allow that runner from third to score. So
Nick Vitor, by the way, will come in and be the courtesy runner or the pinch runner for the catcher, with Richards then to re-enter in the top half of the second. So here's Hunter Eikenberry, the right fielder. See his batting average on the year, couple of runs batted in as well. He is the 7th batter to come to the plate this inning here for Pendleton Heights. That's in for a strike, and that had about as much velocity as we have seen on a pitch from Beagle so far. Eikenberry, a sophomore, listed as both an outfielder and a pitcher. You can tell he's got the build for a pitcher.
Absolutely.
Runner takes off. They will throw through, try to get the out, and they do.
Nice
Tagged
throw.
out before the runner crosses home plate. So the damage is limited at 2 for the Arabians. They send 6 to the plate, score 2. Out recorded 2-6 to end things up here. After 1, our score, Pendleton Heights 2, Shelbyville nothing. As you're watching high school baseball here on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
A working mom who brings her best to both roles. a community-owned telecom that connects her home with high-bandwidth fiber optic. Mom can work from home with fast, reliable connectivity and be there when the kids come home. When everyone logs on, the internet connections stay fast and the family stays connected. 9-Star Connect. Community-owned. Community strong.
Bill Stout Field here at Pendleton Heights High School. I want to thank Chad Smith and Adam Ritz for having our 9-star cameras here this evening. And I will apply the way the temperature and the atmosphere is here today to kind of what my wife said yesterday about Easter Sunday. I think we were owed a day like this after the previous 3 days we had in central Indiana. Hopefully for all these teams we get a full week like this. And the forecast is looking largely good. Kind of play catch up on scheduling from missing some valuable real estate at the end of the week.
Yeah, there were a lot of outdoor events overall, high school and otherwise, that were wiped out on Saturday because of the rain.
Grant Martin will lead things off, the first baseman. Does have a home run this year. In fact, that's the only home run for the Golden Bears this season. And it misses high. 1-0 the count. As a team, Shelbyville batting .249 on the year. Swing and a miss, 1-1 the count. Their head coach, Royce Carlton at Shelbyville. He played for my buddy, Gary Vaught at the University of Indianapolis. 1-2.
Came home to coach the Golden Bears, taking over for Scott Hughes. He was there for quite a number of years.
Popped up. Even with ample territory here, this will get out of play. Count remains at 1-2. Golden Bears last year 13-12. They did graduate a whale of a player off of last year's team in Damon Lux. Now is playing at Duke. Damon has appeared in 8 games so far this year for the Blue Devils. And the pitch location largely the same. Outer half fastball that Martin couldn't catch up with. Stoll has his second strikeout, and there's one down.
They've been pretty impressive on the mound so far. They're locating pitches right where he wants to, and Golden Bears is having trouble making contact so far.
So Zach Rupert now to the plate. Popped up. Catcher, Richards, throws away the mask, but just couldn't have enough real estate to go track that one down as that ball, the wind kept kind of pushing that one back towards the dugout.
Hit the dugout roof and out of play.
We saw Rupert's arm in right in the bottom half of the first inning. At the plate this year, batting .258. Does have a run batted in. Rather young Shelbyville team. 4 seniors on the roster,
including today's starting pitcher.
And their leadoff man is a freshman, as a catcher in Rife. Counted 0-2. And Stoll may be going to that outer half fastball again until proven otherwise. This time catcher asked him to elevate. He did. Rupert does not give chase. 1-2 the count. Outfield playing straight away for the number 6 hitter. Again popped up. Richards gives it a cursory glance and then does an about face and gets the ball back to his pitcher. 1-2. Foul tip. Richards couldn't hang on to it. We'll do it again.
That bat for Rupert so far. He's looking to get on base and try to dent that Pendleton Heights lead a little bit here in the top of the second.
Swing and a miss. Third strikeout in 6 batters faced, and there's 2 away.
Not bad, but that's pretty much the pace he's had all season, like you were talking about earlier, right? So this is not unusual.
It's the Shelbyville team that will step out of conference play tomorrow, and they play host to East Central.
The Trojans.
So here's the pitcher in Beagle, facing his opposite number in Stoll. Inside corner, in for a strike, 0-1 the count, and Beagle will foul that away. So, okay, I know where that inside corner location is when I go back on the mound. And if You're wondering why Shelbyville would play East Central, given the fact that, well, from Shelbyville, it's about 50 miles away. Those schools are in the same sectional. There are not that many 4A teams in that kind of part of the state.
A little bit trip down I-74.
Yep. Shelbyville is kind of the central location of a spread-out group of sectional teams. Casas, Fields, fires to perfection.
Oh, wow, what a nice play.
Had a sweet swing in the bottom half of the first and some slick glove work in the top of the second. We'll show you one more look at it. 2-0 our score through 1.5.
He stayed with it. Again, didn't try to hurry the throw. Made sure he had it, was in control. Made a perfect throw just in time. And it's great to see high school players do that, because I think I've mentioned before, sometimes there is a tendency when you see that runner, heading down the line that you want to hurry the throw, but just take your time. You want to make a good throw, because if you rush it too much and you throw the ball away, you compound the problem. But so far we haven't seen that. We've seen some outstanding fielding, as you alluded to, by the infielders so far, especially for Pelham Heights.
We'll finish the thought on Shelbyville. Their sectional is about as spread out as anyone you have in 4A. It's the 2 Bloomington schools, south and north, the 2 Columbus schools, east and north. And again, Shelbyville already has a victory over the Bulldogs, as Joel alluded to earlier, a 4-3 win, one of their 4 victories so far in the season. But then Shelbyville and East Central, that is sectional 14 in girls, boys basketball, volleyball, and baseball. Remarkably, the pairing show for baseball is next Sunday night.
Oh, wow.
And, of course, also in the relatively near future, they will be announcing the redistrict sectionals. I'm not sure that will affect Shelbyville. I think there could be an effect on Pelham Heights, just because there are some other 4A teams in this area that are being mixed in this year. One of those being Marion, as Marion will pop up to 4A from 3A. We'll find all about all that stuff over the course of the next few weeks. Eikenberry, who was at the plate when the third out of the bottom of the first was up. He puts a charge into this one.
Sure
Deep
did.
right center field. That's up against the base of the wall. Eikenberry has 2. Going to make the turn, and he will have 3. He'll slide, but throw is not in time. A triple by Eikenberry, and as we talked about, this is not a team that gets a lot of extra base hits, but an impressive one for that young man and Hunter Eikenberry.
Yeah, he crushed it. I thought for a moment it was going to get out of here, but he said went up against the base of the wall, and he can run. He didn't hesitate. He was thinking third base even before he got to the second base bag. He was thinking about turning that into a triple, and that's exactly what he did.
For Eikenberry, that is his first triple of the season. For any Pendleton Heights player, it is just the 4th triple of the season. And Dalton Molenkopf now will come to the plate. And again, infield, other than third, largely playing back, so a ground ball could score a run here. But of the 7 batters faced by Beagle, 4 have recorded base hits. And this one again the pop-up will take it out of play. And the count goes to 1-1.
Well, the Arabians have out-hit the Golden Bears 4-1 so far in this game. Outscored them 2-0. Arabians impressive so far, the way they've been able to hit consistently early on.
Off-speed pitch misses. 2-1 the count. Well, it's a Shelbyville team that there's been a consistent theme in there in some of their losses. They've got 6 losses so far. They've allowed 12 runs in 4 of those 6 losses. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
And one of those was against Knightstown. I mentioned earlier, too, that they lost to Indian Creek 4-0. So.
Well, Indian Creek was a 3A semi-state team from a year ago. They've got a young man that's going to play baseball at Xavier next year. So Indian Creek, solid athletic program, but a very good baseball team. This will be enough to score a run. Deep left field. Catch is made. Eikenberry will tag. Throw comes to the shortstop, and there's no play. And it is a 3rd run and 8 batters to the plate for the Arabians of Pendleton Heights with 1 down.
And again, as Pelham Heights taking advantage of opportunities, Eikenberry with that leadoff triple, and then he's knocked in on the sacrifice fly. And for Pelham Heights, they have to feel like any run they can add on, definitely a positive, try to open up this lead a little bit even further against the Golden Bears.
Let's put this in perspective. Stoll has now thrown 19 innings this season. He's allowed 2 earned runs. His team has already staked into a 3-run lead. It's a good spot to be in if you're a fan of the team in white and green. So Stoll on the season is a .227 batter with 4 runs batted in.
Yeah, he showed bunt at first on that first pitch, then pulled back, and that time doesn't show bunt at all.
That means you've got the automatic take sign going is what that is. Top of the lineup due up next. Hit Evan Douglas. And this one, a little flare in the right field. Right fielder comes in, can't make the play. And that is the 3rd different hit of the 5 we've seen so far, where batters on both sides, Pelham Heights and Nice, just going the other way with the pitch.
I was just going to say, I think that's one of the things that's really impressed me about the Arabians so far today is their ability to hit to the opposite field. A couple right-hand batters hit the right field and had a lefty hitter flare into shallow left field. So that's really helped their offense.
So back to the top of the lineup now, Evan Douglas. Singleton scored last inning, stole a base as well. He could be asked to move a runner over here. Had no sign of it that time, and the off-speed pitch misses. 1-0 the count. Ball gets away from the pitcher, but there'll be no advance on the play.
I think he was still trying to figure out why that wasn't called a strike, at least based on his facial expression. I think he wanted that pitch called a strike, but didn't get it.
Quick toss back. As we mentioned, 14 steals on the season coming in for Pelham Heights. They had 1 last inning to make it 15 on the year. Popped up. Center fielder seems to have a beat on it. Drifting over makes the play, and there's 2 down. It is a spacious yard here at Pelham Heights. We bragged on the lush nature of the grass. And there's a lot of it. It is going to take a poke to get the ball out of here. We saw Eichenberry hit the base of the fence earlier in the inning.
And he was looking right into the sun, too, on that fly ball, so that's not easy either this time of day.
So Wyatt Douglas put out a sacrifice bunt last time up. Has to keep the inning going this time for a young man batting .429 on the season. Runner does take off. They'll throw down to shortstop and not in time.
I'm not sure a perfect throw would have even had him there.
That was a great jump by Stoll.
Yep.
And he also timed it well on an off-speed pitch.
I mean, we saw a perfect throw at the end of the first inning with the runner at second, but I'm not sure even that throw would have gotten him out that time.
So runner in scoring position now. And ball outside, 2-0 the count. So 6 to the plate in the first inning. This is the 5th batter of the inning in the second.
Again, they're doing this against Shelbyville's ace as well.
3-0. And he's missed all 3 pitches in this at-bat, low and away. And you would assume that the take sign is going to be given here, even to one of the better hitters in the lineup for Coach Kiesling. And wasn't even close. Didn't have to think about it. So first walk of today's game has been issued.
For Beagle.
And now the top hitter comes to the plate in Casas, who had a single and an RBI in his previous plate appearance, his 12th run batted in this year.
I think Beagle would be getting a little frustrated right now at himself. I mean, but yeah, Beagle, he had that flare in the left field last time.
That would likely score a run if he puts it in a similar position. Hits the outside corner at the knees for a strike.
It's easy for a high school pitcher in this position to overthink what he's doing out there right now. It seems like that's what he's trying to do. Trying to work too hard at throwing the pitch in the exact spot instead of just throwing it. But
a lot of room in left center here for Casas. Outfielder's playing him somewhat shallow. Center fielder's kind of playing him to pull. Runner takes off. It's in for a strike. but an extra 90 feet for both base runners.
Yep, they went and no throw attempted, so.
Now any ball out of the infield score likely scores 2.
That could be real big for the Arabians here. Again, just in the bottom of the second.
Little liner. Caught.
Good.
End of the inning. So one more scores for Pendleton Heights. They do strand 2, but they have a 3-run lead through 2 innings of play. As you'll see, the shortstop go to work here for Shelbyville. They'll send 8, 9, and 1 to the plate when we come back as you're watching high school baseball here on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network. There you see some of the great monthly programs you can watch on the ISC Sports Network. Amongst those, Sock Takes TV does have a new episode of that is debuting this week. Lanny Seago, The Traveling Land, his next show probably out later this week on ISC as well. One of his guests you saw in that promo, current Blue Jays pitcher Clayton Richard. Formerly both Mr. Football and Mr. Baseball in the state of Indiana in the same season, after he played at McCutcheon High School. Here at Pendleton Heights, the Arabians leading Shelbyville by a score of 3-0. Alongside Joel Branningham, Greg Rakestraw with you, and Brandon Bass leads things off here for Shelbyville. This young man is up from the JV team. This is just his second game of the season for the varsity. He does not have a hit yet on the young season for the sophomore. And the count goes to 1-0. After giving up a hit on a line drive off the pitcher, they'll ask first, did he go? They say yes. 1-1 the count. Able to retire the last 5 batters he has faced has been stole. Popped up, and he'll get out of play.
Yeah, replay showing that was a good call on the bleachers. Hey, you got to pay attention over there. Looked like a woman who was reading something was a few inches from getting hit by that, but everybody's okay.
1-2 the count. Foul tip in the mitt. Richards got it. That is strikeout number 4 of 8 batters faced for Stoll.
And he just continues to pitch extremely well. We talked about how much Pendleton Heights' offense has been clicking. Well, so is their pitching. They're getting and defense. I mean, everything has just gone extremely well so far from Pendleton Heights in this game.
Mitch Yind, left fielder, sophomore. That's in for a strike. 0-1 the count. Yind batting 167 on the year. Does have a run batted in. Slow roller. Third baseman, Fields, fires, and not a good throw. That one ate up Miller. That will be an error. That'll be a 2-base error as Yin makes his way to second base. First error of the game committed by the Arabians.
That'll be the first runner the Golden Bears have had in scoring position since the first inning. We talked about how thick the grass is. Obviously slowed that ball down, but still not a good throw. Just right after I bragged about how Pendleton Heights was doing everything extremely well, and they had been defensively, but still not a good throw there to first. We'll see if Shelbyville can take advantage of this.
So Charlie Reif, the leadoff batter, the catcher. Ground ball to shortstop last time up. Curveball falls off the table beautifully. Right into the strike zone, 0-1 the count. Reminded of doing football games with Lance Scheib, where he's a bit harder on the wide receivers because that's what he played in the Big Ten. This one gets through the wickets of the catcher. And an extra 90 feet for Yind. And only 2 runners so far for Shelbyville through 2 1/3 innings, but both runners that have gotten aboard have made their way to third base.
Yeah, back at the bottom of the first, a couple of wild pitches enabled the Golden Bears to have a runner on third with one out, but they weren't able to get him home, and this is the best scoring opportunity they've had since then.
An infield plays back. Ground ball, third baseman, a glance, fires over to first, and absolutely perfectly done by Mollenkopf. That's the one infield position where it probably doesn't score a run, is right back to the third baseman.
Yeah, the ball was hit hard, and he took a look at the runner at third right there before he makes a perfect throw to first. So, like I said, that play couldn't have gone any better for Pelton Heights on that one.
So here is Balting. He had the liner off the leg of Stoll last time up. That has been by far the most solid contact that has been made. But that wild pitch will score Shelbyville's first run of the game.
Well, at this point, the Golden Bears will take what they can get and shut out off the board as they score their first run and get to within two of the Arabians. So that's a tough play for any catcher, and he's had his work cut out for him behind the plate in this inning.
That's the only negative so far from what Pendleton Heights has done through 2 2/3. Now you see the wild pitch wouldn't have mattered. He would have scored anyway. As he wrapped that one to right field. Eikenberry quickly up. So the run scores. And now Balting is 2 for 2. Young man batting .367 coming into the game, and you can see why with that swing.
Well, you talked about how solid he hit the ball the first time he was up, and that was an impressive rope there to right center field, so we'll see if that kind of helps jumpstart the Golden Bear offense a little more here.
So Mahan struck out looking back in the first inning. Mahan 444 on the year. He is a junior. Richards able to stay in front of that one, 1-0 the count. Foul tip. And that one got more than a piece of Mahan as he hobbles out of the box. That went straight down as he offered it the inside pitch. Take one more look at it here. It looks like somewhere down on the ankle or foot from the replay.
I was hoping we could see maybe if it went off the top of his foot or the side of his foot, and can't really tell from that replay, but definitely tell it hurt. There's no doubt about that.
Mahan going to jog it out a little bit. Make sure he's all right.
And it appears to be.
Thankfully for him, that happened on a 75-degree day and not a 45 or a 35-degree day.
Yeah, that would have really hurt.
It's going to hurt regardless.
Yeah, right.
You double down on the pain on a cold day.
Absolutely.
He appears to be all right. Isn't it amazing? I think you see a baseball player wearing 45, you think of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Did he offer? He did. 1-2 the count with the field umpire at second base. It's got to be on the home plate umpire, and I would agree with that call that he did enough to go after it. 1-2. Turned on that one, but easily foul. We'll do it again.
That's certainly a challenge for umpires, as typically in high school baseball you only have two, at least in the regular season. I cover a lot of territory.
And a swing and a miss.
That was nasty.
Strikeout number 5 so far for Stoll, but Shelbyville does get one back. As we'll go to the bottom of the third with the Arabians leading it 3-1.
2 hits, 1 error.
There's nothing you can do about that. I mean, that was just a nasty pitch, and an outstanding job of the Arabians getting out of the inning without any further damage.
Hey, look at the Hoosier Heritage Conference standings. You see that Pendleton Heights, the lone undefeated team in terms of conference baseball. But as you see, if you bumped the overall record, there is little that separates these teams in the league this season. And, of course, You're scheduled to play 14 league games, 2 against each team, but Mother Nature often gets in the way. And this was supposed to be a doubleheader on Saturday. Turned into a single game here tonight.
And also, as you mentioned earlier, for Pelham Heights, this was going to be a home game against Shenandoah. But they had to bump that in favor of this conference game today. But also, it would be nice for a lot of these teams to string together some good weather, be able to stay on schedule. And because once you get into the month of May, it gets tougher and tougher to have to make up games. The sectionals will be here before you know it.
We will see Shenandoah tomorrow on both 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network when they visit Newcastle. That game is slated for a 5 o'clock first pitch.
And we'll both be there for that one.
So Cole Miller singled last time up, was stranded at third back in the first inning. Little liner, that'll get through for a base hit. And the leadoff man has now been aboard with a base hit in every inning for Pendleton Heights.
And Pelham Heights not afraid to swing at the first pitch either. They've done that a number of times today. Obviously saw a fastball, saw a pitch he liked, and deposits it in center field.
So early had a fielder's choice in his last plate appearance.
Center fielder number 20, Camden Early.
Quick toss back. Third baseman got both feet on the grass with the lefty at the plate. Thought about showing bunt, but let that one go by.
Wisely so. He only would have popped that up if he'd gone after it, most likely anyway.
This Pendleton Heights team won the Madison County tournament a couple of weeks ago. Outscored their opposition 40-11 in those 3 games.
Wow. That's impressive. Well, I can understand why from what I've seen from them today, both from pitching and hitting standpoint.
That misses low, 3-0 the count. And I added an incorrect score in there, so let me repeat that. 34-4. Maybe even more impressive than 40-11.
Yeah.
The outcome remained the same.
Absolutely.
And ball 4. So second walk we have seen Beagle issue so far. And first time, even with the offensive prowess that Pendleton Heights have shown to this juncture of the game, they've gotten their 2 leadoff runners aboard.
Catcher number 24.
So here's Richards, also a fielder's choice in his last plate appearance. He was thrown out at second base. Now tries to put the bunt down. First baseman on the trot. Couldn't get there. That's Martin. Richards batting $174 on the year with 5 runs batted in.
Made a heck of an effort, but couldn't quite come up with it. That would have been a big out for the Golden Bears if they were able to get it.
With the first baseman charging in the way he did, it also kind of puts the thought in Richards' mind. He needs to get that ball down the third base line. He gets it down, but it's a foul ball, and now it's 0-2. And the question is, all right, do you leave the bunt on here or let your number 6 hitter swing away?
Well, I'd be tempted to let him swing away here, although he had better technique on that bunt attempt than he did on the first one. Well, neither would surprise me if he tries to bunt or swing away here.
You're probably not in the business of giving up outs in a 2-run game. He lets it go by, assuming he wasn't going to see a strike on 0-2. It gives the corner infielder something to think about. Although every time he is squared, we have seen the third baseman stay even with the bag. It's going to be the pitcher, catcher, first baseman if he decides to lay one down. He does show, lets that go, and that curveball is a beauty.
Wow.
That's the best one we've seen Beagle throw so far, and Richards is retired with a strikeout, not because of a bunt, because he got caught looking.
He he didn't want to attempt to bunt it because it looked like it was going to be too high and maybe outside as well. But like you said, it curved in. That was a beautiful pitch that time by Beagle.
An impressive first strikeout for Beagle. So here's Eichenberry now, who had a triple his last time up. And sends a charge into this one. It is caught. Could be two. They'll throw to the back, step
Nice
on
play.
it, and a double play to end the inning. Let's see if that is a momentum shifter in favor of Shelbyville. First time the Arabians don't score in an inning, and it is an 8-6 double play. We are now through 3 at Pendleton Heights, and the score, the Arabians 3 and Shelbyville 1. As you're watching high school baseball on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
A neighborhood drive-up builds their menu around locally sourced foods. A community-owned telecom delivers fiber optic bandwidth that helps them leverage high-performing technology with lower startup costs. Turns out, going local doesn't just mean fresh, it means better. 9 Star Connect. Community-owned, community-strong.
Stoll is on for his 4th inning of work for the Arabians. So are we. Greg Rakestraw, Joel Brantingham here on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network. This is a great facility. Here you see our next game we'll have for you here on Channel 9 on 9 Star with multiple replays on the ISC Sports Network. Last time we had a Shenandoah game, it was the basketball semi-state. They'll take on the Trojans of Newcastle. That's tomorrow night at 7. Those of you on the 9 Star service.
Well, I was there for that Shenandoah Regional Championship when they defeated the Northeastern Knights in impressive fashion. A young basketball team, but boy, could they shoot.
Yeah, McCulloch guy can coach a little bit.
Yeah, he can.
He's
Yes,
all right.
he can.
I think his record's like 88-15 now in his 4 years at Noah. Taylor watches that hit the outside corner for a strike. Pendleton Heights will be on the road now for their next 8 games.
Wow.
They are not at home again until they play New Pal on May the 10th. High fastball that Taylor gives chase to. And the count goes to 0-2. Tomorrow, Pendleton Heights will make the short trip down I-69 when they take on the defending 4A state champions in Fishers. Swing and a miss. Stoll gets his 6th K in 13 batters faced.
Yeah, just an outstanding job on the mound. You're talking about after the last inning. We'll see if there's any momentum for Shelbyville. They are only 2 runs behind, but it seems like it's a bigger lead for Pendleton Heights the way they've been playing in this game.
Just off the outside corner. Grant Martin, the first baseman. He too a strikeout victim last time up. Been a bit of a unique line score for Stoll in the fact that he has had a couple of wild pitches, had a passed ball in there as well, but he has not walked a batter in today's game. When this little flare gets out of play.
That's interesting.
And you wouldn't say he's been effectively wild. He's just had a couple of ill-timed balls in the dirt the 2 times that runners have been on the base pass today. Count goes to 2-2. Curveball, a beauty.
Wow.
And it's one thing to have that ball, say move across the plate, which I've seen him do, but the way he can have an elevation change on that thing, it's been fun to watch from this angle.
Yes, it has.
The strikeout number 7. That is the second batter now for the Golden Bears that have struck out in both plate appearances. And here is Rupert. Rupert, too, a strikeout victim last time around. Count goes to 1-1. Went and chased And obviously he's got some young men guessing at home plate for Shelbyville right now.
He's a little frustrated himself swinging at that pitch, too.
Stoll's been effective. He has gotten some help on a couple of at-bats. No help needed there. Straight heat. Go get it.
Nasty.
Striking out the side. 4 consecutive batters struck out by Stoll. He's got 8 for the game. And we're halfway through with this one. To the home half of the 4th we go. Pendleton Heights a 3-1 advantage.
And I think Pendleton Heights has played pretty well overall. Just it's hard to believe when I look at the score that it's only a 2-run lead, because it seems like in all aspects of the game, Pendleton Heights has played better than the Golden Bears, but at least to Shelbyville's credit, they've been able to limit Pendleton Heights as they had chances, a double play. Last inning cut down on some more potential runs, but we saw the standings a moment ago for the Arabians. So that's their number one focus right now, is winning these conference games and staying on top, because you talked about the fact they're going to play Pendleton Heights in their next home game, but there will be some games in between. That one's probably going to be a big one when it does come around on the 10th, but they have some pretty important games between now and then, and obviously that's their goal, is to stay on top of the Hoosier Heritage Conference right now.
That's kind of a unique portion of the schedule for Pendleton Heights, in the fact that they don't have another conference game, so they play at Greenfield next Friday. And in fact, we will be there on 9-Star. That is scheduled to be a doubleheader. I'll have my agent talk to John Painter, see if we're doing both games or just one. This is the part where John's laughing in the production truck right now. We simply can't hear it. Or I hope he's laughing about it.
Third baseman number 3, Dalton Mollenkopf.
So Dalton Mollenkopf. Given the music he's playing, must be a wrestling fan going to home plate. Had a sacrifice fly for his 3rd RBI of the season last time up. And Beagle just misses out of the zone. 1-0 the count. Yeah, to your point, it feels like more than a 2-run game, does it not?
Yeah, it really does, just because Pendleton Heights has put more balls in play. They've definitely been the better hitting team, I think the better defensive team, and there's one right there.
Yeah, third baseman couldn't make the play on that one.
A hard hit ball to the hot corner. But the way they pitched, the way they played overall, you would think if you didn't know the score, you'd probably guess it was maybe a 5 or 6 run lead at least. But
well, Stoll trying to help his own cause here.
Walker Stoll.
And that was a hot shot for sure.
Let's see if Stoll will be asked to put a bunt down here. Try to extend the lead, knowing the top of the lineup is coming through. Late show to bunt. He did go for it, didn't pull the bat back. However, kind of did his job because he got in the way, which allowed the runner to get to second base. And I say get in the way, not saying there was interference there at all, but leave the bat out there, go for it. Give the runner a little extra chance to get to second base, which he absolutely does. So now if you put a bunt down here, potentially get the runner to third with only 1 out. Stoll swinging away, ground ball. Runner stays put at second, fire over to first. Out is recorded, there's 1 away.
That is interesting, because actually I was expecting him to bunt there. I really was, to try to move the runner over to third, as you mentioned, but swung away, and the Golden Bears with a big out there. Look the runner back to second. Another nice throw to first for the first out of the bottom of the 4th.
So Evan Douglas, fly ball to center field last time up. Singled and scored back in the first. Always a good sign when you're the leadoff man and you're in the 4th and you're coming up for a 3rd time.
Yeah. And your team's doing something right if that happens.
If you're Beagle, you're trying to keep your team in it. Only 3 runners have reached so far for Shelbyville. I've seen some stolen bases for Pendleton Heights in this game. Stoll had a couple. Douglas at the plate has a stolen base as well. Popped up. Right fielder coming in. And the wind pushes that one all the way to second base nearly. It's still an easier play for him coming in behind the ball. And there's 2 down.
And he's probably grateful for some clouds that have rolled in here, too. We have, till this point, seen quite a bit more sunshine, but that's a tough field right there. So clouds probably helped him see that fly ball a little bit better.
So Wyatt Douglas now to the plate. He walked last time up, had a sacrifice bunt in the first, so he has yet to have an official at bat in today's game. But he's been productive both times to the plate. Curveball never threatened the strike zone. 1-0 the count. Douglas does have 6 runs batted in this season. And this one fouled straight back. With a leadoff man reaching in Molenkoff, Pendleton Heights has kept their streak intact. Their leadoff man has been aboard in all 4 innings so far.
Well, usually good things will happen when you do that. Doesn't guarantee a win, but it's certainly going to help.
If Douglas can keep the inning alive, Casas will come to the plate. Already has a run batted in today. Casas, Early, and Molenkoff all have RBI so far in today's contest. Excuse me, swing could be a problem. Third baseman cuts, fires, and gets away from the first baseman, which will allow the run to score. Well, the shortstop really couldn't have a play. It had to be the third baseman cutting it off. That part he did well. The throw, not so much, and the lead stretches to 3 for Pendleton Heights.
Yeah, jammed on that one. And you're right, excuse me, check swing. And turned out not so well for the Golden Bears, but allows another run board for Pendleton Heights. The Arabians back up now by 3.
And now Casas can extend the damage even further. Little liner, won't get past the shortstop, and the inning is over. And for a second consecutive at-bat, Casas, a line drive to the shortstop, will end the threat. But the Arabians do stretch their lead. It's now 4-1 after 4 innings of play as you're watching high school baseball on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
The Red Sox are 1 out away. And the Dodgers are down to their final strike. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series. And the best team in baseball wins it all.
Back at Bill Stout Field, top of the 5th we go. Pendleton Heights with 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 more in the 4th. 4-1, they lead the Golden Bears. Due up this time through 7, 8, and 9 for Shelbyville. Both of their base hits belong to Eden Balting, their number 2 hitter. Mitch Yind reached on an error and was able to score.
Yeah, the Bears would love to really get their offense going here.
So Beagle, the pitcher, ground ball to shortstop his last time up. There's been 1 airborne out in this game. A pop up to the shortstop. Everything else has been a ground ball or strikeout. Now you see Coach Carlton, head coach at Shelbyville. Liner up the middle, second baseman over. Can he get the throw there in time? No. And the throw does get away from the first baseman.
Beagle able to do what I was just going to say I'm sure he was thinking about doing, and that's getting on base, trying to help himself and, again, get that offense going for the Golden Bears.
So an extra bag on the throwing error. And the leadoff man is aboard now for and we've chronicled this for Pendleton Heights. They've got the leadoff runner on every inning. First time that has been the case for Shelbyville. And now a pinch hitter is in Jaden Carter. So this is Bass's spot in the lineup, but Carter now comes to the plate. Beagle a solid lead at second with a 3-run lead. Middle infielder's not paying him much attention. Strike is called as he let that one go by. Carter on the season batting .091. He has appeared now in every game so far this year. Has 2 hits in 22 at-bats, does Carter. Carter A. Jr. And while you can't completely forget about the runner, with a 3-run lead, you can focus your efforts towards home. Mrs. Lowe,
Wow.
2-1.
Looked like he wanted that one too. Extra long look into the catcher.
This is the 17th batter Stoll has faced. High hopper, and that will be foul. 2-2 the count. Stoll had pitched 17 innings in 4 appearances coming into this game. So from an average standpoint, he's right about where he would normally throw, but again, frankly, because there's been little traffic on the base paths, again, just 3 runners before this inning. Beagle is the 4th batter to reach in 16 batters faced. You could see Stoll getting through this inning and maybe getting into another one. Swing and a miss. Richards able to apply the tag, and Carter becomes the 9th different player, or the 9th strikeout victim, I should say, for Stoll so far. And again, that ball had some serious dip on it.
Yep, made him chase it and gets the first out of the top of the 5th.
So Yind has the only run so far for Shelbyville. Scored on a wild pitch 2 innings ago. Speaking of one of those, and again, that is, and it may be, we've seen it now a little bit more with runners on the base pass. So for the coaching staff at Penn Heights, say, okay, is there something he's doing in pitching out of the stretch versus the windup that is causing that ball to get down to the dirt a little bit more?
Now, I'm sure they're going to talk about that because that's, like you said, that's when it happens. Guys on base, and he's had a number of wild pitches.
That misses a bit high, 2-0 the count. Again, middle infielders play deep, corner infielders play up in a similar situation. Ground ball to third base was fielded perfectly by Molenkamp, and he held the runner at third a couple of innings ago. Potential safety squeeze that time by Yind because the runner was not coming from third. Ends up sending that one down the first base line foul. 2-1 the count.
You mentioned Stoll. He's not walking people. It's not like he's having control problems, again, except for issue with guys on base and throwing wild pitches.
Swing and a miss, 2-2. He's 2/3 the way to Nuke LaLoosh. 18 walks, 18 strikeouts, 10 wild pitches. Eliminate the walks, and you're kind of at a similar pace through 7 innings. Saw a great tweet about that over the weekend. I'll explain after this pitch.
All right.
And an high fastball in the end donates the 10th strikeout of the game, and there's 2 down. And so here, somebody on Twitter, I'm sure you'll see the replay coming up here momentarily, but joked about, could you believe in today's game if the manager let his single-A prospect throw 256 pitches in a game like that, 18 walks and 18 strikeouts? That made me smile.
Yeah.
Forget Crash Davis. What's going on with the manager? That's why there's a manager opening in Visalia next year. 0-1 the count. Swing and a miss. So Reif has made contact both times. Ground ball to third, ground ball to shortstop, but he's 0-2 so far here, and Stoll is 1 pitch away from getting out of a somewhat self-inflicted jam. Foul ball.
I actually know someone who's pitching for Visalia.
And that would be
California Cole Bartlett, who was a graduate of Hagerstown High School. Outstanding pitcher, pitched at University of Missouri, and drafted by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Got to see him last year up at Kane County, actually.
Curveball and air mails it. Could be a play at the plate. And now the runner goes back. They'll throw to third. Tag applied, and they got him. That was bad luck all the way around.
Because of how hard it hit the backstop and ricocheted out.
That ball ricocheted off the bricks behind home plate. Beagle tried to turn around and got stuck somewhere in the middle. Again, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be a run scored. Good throw by Richards. Tag applied by Molenkopf. Beagle probably should have slid back into the bag, but it's easy to say that in the rearview mirror. Either way, the putout is recorded 2-5 at third base. No run score for the Bears. And now it's insurance run time for Pendleton Heights as their lead stays 4-1 here in the bottom half of the fifth.
Yeah, just like in the first inning, runner third opportunity for the Golden Bears to score, and that's got to be tough play because you talked about the room and foul territory, particularly behind the plate. Most of the time, you are going to be able to score, but when the ball ricochets that hard off the backstop, then gets back to the catcher, then not a lot you can do.
You're going to see Benny Thompson loosening in the bullpen, and we made the joke, you see somebody wearing 45 in baseball. If you're my age or Joel's age, think about Michael Jordan trying to play baseball. It is now odd to see someone wearing 42 on a baseball jersey because so often we are watching Major League Baseball, and you see the number 42 worn one day a year by everybody. Last Monday on Jackie Robinson Day.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, no major leaguer after Mariano Rivera will be allowed to wear that number. Speaking of unusual numbers, it was funny the other day to have 2 zeros. I thought that was some kind of joke. I'm like, what is that? Because that's what only a handful of players have ever worn that in the big leagues, right?
And what my partners were talking about is that the New York Yankees have a pitcher, Adam Ottavino, that wears 0. And again, it's rare for a pitcher to wear a single-digit number, but even more rare for somebody to have 0 as their number as a pitcher. But he faced Terrence Gore of the Kansas City Royals, who also wears 0. And so, yes, O versus O.
I believe, was that not
first
the first
one
time
in
that
baseball
ever
history,
happened?
yes.
Of all the years.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Last time I think it was 0 versus 0. It probably was a mascot game, would be my guess.
Probably.
So to the bottom of the fifth we go. Cole Miller, 4, 5, and 6 coming up this time through for the Arabians. Camden Early and Ben Richards will follow things up. Miller, a pair of singles last time up, and instead of getting a hit, he gets hit.
It's the first hit batter we've seen today.
Off-speed pitch clipped him on the left thigh. And the streak continues. Leadoff man has reached now in all 5 innings for Pendleton Heights. So Early, fielder's choice and an RBI back in the first, walked in his previous plate appearance. Third baseman thinking about potential bunt. Early showed no signs of it. Beagle finds the outside corner. He's missed on that pitch a lot today. He got the outside corner to a lefty there. 0-1 the count.
I'll see the Golden Bears infielders thinking double play here.
They turned one of the line drive variety a couple of innings ago. Curveball, a beauty.
Nice, yeah.
No doubt about it breaking over the plate. Only question was, did it get into the zone? And umpire said yes, belt high. Good look at it there, and no doubt about that. Counted 0-2. Beagle has battled today is the best way to describe it. And he has spent a lot more time pitching out of the stretch than he has in the windup. But he's done a good job of keeping his team in it, as they have trailed since the home half of the first inning. Came in with an ERA of 5.25 on the year. Ground ball could be 2, 6, and 4, and turn, and that relay throw was not close to being in time nor target. Good hustle by the first baseman and Martin to scamper over and ensure it wasn't an extra base that was granted on the play. Leadoff man retired and 1 down.
Yeah, threw it first. Got the lead runner. Obviously, that's the most important thing for the Golden Bears right now. And the slide made it a tough throw as it was, and a perfect throw. Certainly wouldn't have had him anyway. But, again, the Golden Bears able to get the lead runner and the first out of the inning.
And I think the manager and Royce Carlton's going to ask, hey, should there have been runner interference on that play, which is why the throw was not a good one. Home plate umpire, it's a quick conversation and
I was kind of wondering the same thing. I was trying to look at that in the replay, and it was a good slide.
If you're allowed to go through the bag, it's if you slide away from the bag that where the problem is. You're allowed to go to the bag, which the runner did. So Richards struck out looking last time up. Remains the only strikeout for Beagle so far, and Richards got caught fishing on that one, 0-1 to count. Richards, a fielder's choice and a caught stealing as well on his afternoon. He's had an active day behind the plate. Just missed. 1-1 the count.
Well, both of these catchers have.
Outfield playing straight away, somewhat hugging the lines in left and right for the number 6 hitter. Toss back. Really?
Yeah, beautiful facilities, really is.
Yep.
The grass just looks outstanding. Everything is in great shape, and it's a busy place to do there as well. There are other sports going on at the same time this one is.
Tennis and track and field both in action today. Ground ball, high hopper. Good job by the third baseman. Great throw to second. And again, throw on to first. An errant one. By the way, that is Carter, who stayed in the game to play second after he replaced Bass in the last inning.
That was a high hop. Did a good job bringing it down and then setting himself, making the throw to second. Once again, the important thing for the Golden Bears is they got that lead runner at second. There's just no way they're going to get a double play out of that.
That is Corey Taylor that made the play at the third base bag for Shelbyville. Now we see Hunter Eikenberry. Eikenberry, fly ball to center, and a triple to right center. Came into the game batting .200. He has helped that average today, but just a bit off on that first swing. Did not have that one timed out properly.
And definitely the best hit ball of the day, that triple, just a few inches from getting out of here.
Toss back to first. Back in plenty of time is Richards. That's a pinch runner in Vitor that is over for Richards, so the catcher has been allowed to go back into the dugout and get the gear on for the top of the 6th inning. Late breaking curveball that had the catcher out of his stance, thinking that was going to miss.
Almost caught the corner.
And when the catcher gets full like that, you're not getting the benefit of the doubt from the home plate umpire.
No. Not most of the time, anyway.
Count remains 1-1. After tomorrow's game against East Central, Shelbyville is off until Friday when they have a doubleheader with Delta. Misses off the corner, 2-1 the count.
Yeah, you can tell Beagle was trying to hit that corner. Maybe get him to fish for it.
And that's one thing you notice. This is there's a lot more lefty in this lineup than you see in most teams.
Yes, there is.
So if you're a right-handed pitcher, you kind of rarely are able to utilize that target where low and away to your right-hand side is a way to batter. So it's a challenging lineup because they've been good at scoring runs all year, but also because they give you that left-handed look more than other teams would. And he is convinced that Veter is going. Veter was caught stealing back in the first.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd worry too much about him. 2-2 count, 2 outs.
And he wasn't. Eikenberry, swing and a miss. And the inning is over. And for a second time in 5 innings, the Arabians do not score a run. We are now through 5 here at Petaluma Heights High School. The score remains Arabians 4, the Golden Bears of Shelbyville 1. We're back after this on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
It's a long, long way, and you might only get one tiny chance, so you better say yes. Gonna light up the sky, gonna shine like the stars that burn so bright, light up the sky.
New pitcher in the game for Pendleton Heights. It is Luke Hargrave. There you see his numbers so far on the season. Stoll was fantastic. Gave up 1 run on 3 hits. He struck out 10 batters. He faced 18, allowed 4 runners to reach during his 5 innings, and again, the last of those was made the 3rd out of the inning. So only have had to face 3 more batters than the minimum on the season. Hargrave's numbers on the year. This is his 3rd appearance of the year. In his previous 2 appearances, he's gone 8 innings. He's gotten the win in each of those games. A 2.62 ERA. He has walked 8 and struck out 8, has Hargrave on the year. And opponents are batting .219 against Hargrave this season. Hargrave, a junior. So Reif, who was at the plate in the top of the 5th when Beagle was the 3rd out at third base on the wild pitch that for Shelbyville had the unfortunate benefit of hitting the wall and ricocheting back to the catcher. He gets a fresh start here in the top of the 6th as the lights have been turned on here at Pendleton Heights High School.
I was going to mention that with the clouds rolling in.
Our game is right at about the hour-and-a-half mark at this point. And if you didn't believe me, there you go.
Yeah, proof right there.
Without doubt, anytime any announcer on a television broadcast says the lights have been turned on, boom, camera shot of the lights. It's kind of like when you're a defensive replacement in a game, the ball finds you. Like the first batter's going to hit the ball to you. Same thing goes for an announcer says, hey, the lights are turned on. There you be. 2-2 the count. And this one lashed down the right field line and foul. So Reif, ground ball to short, ground ball to third. He was the only batter to see Stoll 3 times and did a good job of avoiding a strikeout, and that one clipped the jersey of Reif. That's one of those calls you make based on what you hear, not what you see. And so Reif, hit by a pitch. Rather inauspicious debut for Hargrave. Hits the first batter he faces. Courtesy runner will come in. Let's take a look here. And again, you see the jersey flap there. Great job by our home plate umpire. So courtesy runner now in the game for Shelbyville. So Balting, who does have a pair of hits tonight. And Hargrave bringing some serious bend. 0-1 the count. So he's hit the ball well both times. One of them, that runner will take off and picked a great pitch to steal on because it was an off-speed pitch and there was nothing the catcher could do.
An awkward-looking slide on the throw, but
so count it 1-1. Balting also hit one to right center field. And it's been all off speed from Hargrave so far.
And missed by a whole lot in the outside corner on that one.
Foul ball. 2-2 the count.
Yeah, Balting up there swinging.
He has 5 runs batted in this year. This is the first time he has been at the plate where there's been a runner in scoring position. Lays off of that one. Now there's a bit of an asterisk there because he was at the plate when there was a wild pitch that then scored Yind for the only run for Shelbyville. But by the time he got to the business part of his at-bat, the bases were empty as he sent one to right center field. Hargrave wheels and fires. Casas was there. Count goes full. So Hargrave in with a chance to get a save in today's game. Don't see many of those in high school baseball. Ground ball, runner will advance. Casas has no play.
The wise thing and just put it in his pocket.
So runners at the corners now, and the tying run will come to the plate for Shelbyville and Mahan.
I thought he might be able to get the out at first, but juggled it and didn't want to make a wild throw with the runner going to third.
It's one of those where, and again, it's easier to say than do. It's one of those where he'll probably look back and say, I should have charged that ball. He let the hop kind of eat him up that time. It's tough to do when you got a runner in front of you, too.
That's right.
Mahan swings and misses. Infield will gladly trade a double play if they have the chance for the run here. Mahan has other ideas. It is ruled as an error. Curveball and a beauty. I'm not sure Hargrave could break a pane of glass the way he's been throwing it so far, but they've been tough to hit. Another one.
That was nasty.
He had Mahan in knots the entire at bat, one down.
Way out in front of that one.
And that is the hat trick for Mahan, and not what you want either. Strikeouts in all three at bats.
At the plate, third baseman number 27, Corey Taylor.
Nope.
So Taylor to the plate. Fly ball or pop up to the shortstop, and a strikeout as well. 4 and 6. Can he get the out at first? Yep, he does, and that is the end of the inning. It's one of those days for Shelbyville. They get runners at first and third with nobody out and cannot score a run. The 4-6-3 double play, take a look at it here, and it maintains a 3-run lead for the home team.
Good play at second, especially with the runner sliding in hard. Again, it was a good slide, trying to break up the double play, but well turned by Pelham Heights. Like I said, Golden Bears looks like they have something good going. They have runners in scoring positions and opportunities to cut down the Pelham Heights lead a little bit, but just not able to take advantage of it. And that's among the reasons why we talked about the fact that it seemed like Pelham Heights has had bigger than a 2 or 3 run lead. This is the biggest lead they've had all day, but it just seems like difficult for Shelbyville, like I said, to chip away and to try to get in that lead, as Pelham Heights has comfortably led. At least it seems that way up here, that they've had a comfortable lead with good defense, good pitching, and the Golden Bears. New guy on the mound as well.
Yeah, so Jaden Carter just came in to play second base. Will now be brought in to pitch what, in theory, barring a 3-run outburst in the top of the 7th, could be the last inning of the game for the Golden Bears. So you can see Jaden's record on the year. For Carter, this is his 6th appearance. 10 innings pitched. 4.20 his earned run average. Allowed 11 runs, only 6 of those are earned. He has walked 10 and struck out 9 on the season. Opposing batters, batting .268 against Carter. Even though he's pitched 10 innings, he has faced the 3rd most batters for Shelbyville so far this year. He's faced 53 batters in his efforts on the mound for Shelbyville. So with that, elsewhere, the shortstop in Balting will move to second. Taylor, the third baseman, will move over to play shortstop. And it looks like Benny Thompson will enter the game and play third. So Thompson will enter in what is Beagle's spot in the lineup, which means that we will see Thompson likely batting, barring a pinch hitter, in the top of the 7th. Did you get all that? You write that down? Second baseman goes to pitcher, shortstop goes to second, third goes to shortstop, new third baseman. You got it?
It doesn't matter.
Only 4 position switches. You on it?
Doesn't seem to matter who's playing, whether it's a conference game or not. It seems like if your scorebook is always a mess by the end, you have guys moving constantly, and a lot of times it is hard to keep track of where everybody goes. Because there's never just one move, and it seems like even with pitcher, the pitcher comes in the game, it's rarely just that one change. It's because position players come in to pitch and so forth, and I'm not sure what the umpire's discussing.
He may I'm not sure if it was a batting glove because he was, or maybe just a tire. You always got to worry about making sure the pitcher's uniform is in no ways a distraction of the hitter, so that's probably what the conversation was about. So Mollenkopf now Couple of productive at-bats, sacrifice fly, and a run scored for the number 8 hitter. Carter's first pitch misses 1-0 the count. By the way, Beagle goes 5 innings, allows 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of those were earned. Struck out 2, walked 2, and hit a batter. And right now he's on the loss, which would put him at 1-2 on the season. Molenkop sends a charge in this one. Left fielder looks up, and that ball is gone. Wow. The number 8 hitter who entered the day batting 143 gets his second RBI of the day and hits a 5th home run of the season for the Arabians and stretches that lead to 4.
Well, he talked about the wind blowing in that direction, but he didn't need any help from the wind on that one. He just crushed it. Fastball right over the heart of the plate and deposited over the left field fence.
Number 5, Walker Stoll at the plate.
So Walker Stoll out of the plate. And how about 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup for Pendleton Heights? 3 of the 5 runs scored in this game have been scored by the 7 and 8 hitters, and Stoll, who has stayed in the game to bat for Hargrave, has a couple of steals and a base hit. And again, from an average standpoint, there's kind of a drop-off in this lineup once you got to, say, spot 6. Well, again, you've had 3 runs scored, a triple, a home run, and 3 runs batted in from the guys in the lower third of the lineup.
And, again, when that happens, you're also probably going to have success, as Pendleton Heights has had, in trying to stay undefeated in conference play.
Lone team in the HHC without a loss. In league action, they hold on to win this one. They go to 4-0. Pops straight up. Catcher gives chase, but then realizes it's somewhere near Joel's car. 1-2 the count.
Probably is. Yeah, you do have to be careful where you park high school baseball games. I've seen people end up with broken windows before.
Count at 1-2. Swing and a miss. Stoll could have advanced or at least tried to go to first if he had wanted to, but he'll make the about face to the dugout. First strikeout for Carter and his second batter faced, and there's 1 down.
At the plate, the left fielder, number 11, Evan
So
Douglas.
4th trip up for Douglas. Couple of fly balls, single and a run scored. Pendleton Heights would never trail in this game. Douglas would be one of 2 Arabians to score. In the bottom half of the first, they've tacked on solo runs in the 2nd, 4th, and 6th since that time. Off the hands, foul. 1-1 the count. One misses high. 2-1 the count.
Wind's starting to pick up a little bit. He could get one in the air to left. That might be enough to carry it out of here.
A run scored by Douglas earlier today, his 9th of the season. And that misses a bit high. 3-1 the count. Casas and Wyatt Douglas lead the Arabians in run score with 12 in that one. He got an accurate stitch count on that one as it goes over his head.
Yep. Like he was going to get on base one way or the other, either ball 4 or being hit by the pitch.
Thankfully, it was the former and not the latter.
Yeah.
Number 12, Wyatt Douglas.
So Wyatt Douglas reaching an error his last time up. Walked in a sacrifice bunt as well.
I'm sorry, I'm at a ball game. My son just hit a home run, and I'm like I'm flustered. Okay, I was texting you something right now. I won't bother you anymore. Okay, bye.
Carter, a look back at first.
How do I hang up on you? Oh, here it is. Bye. It was on my messenger. I was like texting something. I'm like, why is this face?
Down the left field line, but left fielder was well far away from that ball. By the way, that is Beagle, who has stayed in the game in left. So Thompson will actually enter, looks like, in the number 9 position. Which means Beagle will be up third in the top of the 7th.
I'm glad you can keep all that straight.
Just say it convincing. People believe you. That throw got away from the first baseman. Evan Douglas will take one bag and with a 4-run lead in the bottom of the 6th. There's no reason to extend it further, knowing your best batters are coming up. So the errant throw. That misses. 1-1 the count. Looking ahead, it is 5, 6, and 7. Due up next time through for Pendleton Heights. That's in for a strike. 1-2 the count. Carter deals. Bell asked, did he go? No. They tag him, but again, umpire behind the pitcher's mound said he did not swing. 2-2 the count.
You can judge for yourself. Yeah, I think it was a good call.
Count at 2-2. Center fielder shading a bit towards left for one of the numerous left-handers in the Pendleton Heights lineup. Able to hold that swing again, same result. And the count goes full now. I would say he was closer to going the last time than he was on that one. Full count. And he watches that one go by for a ball. So second time that Douglas has worked a walk. Both of the Douglases are walked in this inning. And now Casas scored a run, had an RBI back in the first, couple of line drives to the shortstop since then. Has a chance to take some of the doubt, if there is any at this point, out of this one. Into the top of the 7th. That's in for a strike. Casas batting .480 on the season. Curveball stays high, 1-1 the count. Casas with 12 runs batted in, does have a home run this season as well. Just missed that one, fouled it straight back. Count at 1-2.
Netting seems very strong, goes all the way to the dugout. Either side, even high schools have done a better job at protecting fans from line drives.
Ground ball foul. We'll do it again at 1-2.
Carter looks in for the sign, but Cassis does step out of the box. Carter looks in and then checks White Notice on first. Now checks Evan Notice and
Runner takes off. Contact is made. Pitcher fields and shovels over to first base. Casas is retired. 1-3. Runners at second and third, and there's now 2 down.
Certainly the only play for the Golden Bears right there. And a slow roller. Take your time. Schultz first, make sure you get the out. Don't try to be cute. Let's get the ball at first and get the out.
There's Miller, who's reached base all 3 times he's been at the plate today. 2 hits and then hit by a pitch. Chance to stretch this lead a little bit more before you go to the top half of the 7th.
Wow.
Lashes this one center field, but an atom ball, as in right at the center fielder. Hit it hard, but the inning is over, and Pendleton Heights will strand 2. To the top of the 7th we go. The Arabians a 4-run lead, looking for their 4th consecutive conference win. Back after this on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
Carnegie's A Place to Eat is the place for exceptional dining in Greenfield. Enjoy our hand-cut steaks, fresh seafood, herbs, and vegetables straight from our gardens, prepared with a northern Italian flair. Chef Ian and his staff welcome you as our guests to enjoy fine wines, dinners, and ambiance. Carnegie's is the place for your special event with a private room that seats 100. Perfect for your next party, business meeting, or wedding reception. We are located in the historic Carnegie Library in downtown Greenfield. We'll see you at Carnegie.
5, 6, and 7 due up this time through for the Golden Bears of Shelbyville. Their lone run coming back in the 3rd. Hargrave is on for his 2nd inning of work, trying to get the save and give Pendleton Heights their 7th win in 9 games played, and again pushes them to potentially 4-0 in conference action. I want to thank John Payne and our tremendous 9-star crew. We'll see him again tomorrow. We'll go to Newcastle as the Trojans play host to Shenandoah. Leading things off is Grant Martin. Martin has struck out twice. Hargrave added to that strikeout total last inning. 11 strikeouts by Arabian pitching in this game. 10 of those belonging to Walker Stoll. Stoll entered this game with 2 earned runs allowed. Does allow 1 run here in this one. But he is certainly set up to pick up his 4th win in 5 tries this year. Martin and Rupert both looking to make contact in the field of play for the first time today. Martin doesn't do it on that swing. 1-1 the count. Slow roller foul, 1-2. We got some coach hustle over there in the box tracking down that foul ball. I think that was Brad Schnapp that was tracking that one down. Caught up with Brad before today's game. Had to throw on to first base to complete the out. And with ease, Richards tosses that one down to Miller, 1 away. Mahan, unfortunately, has company on the bus home with a hat trick. As far as 3 strikeouts are concerned, as Martin does so on 3 plate appearances today. And now Rupert.
You don't want the hat trick, but you definitely don't want the golden sombrero.
I'm not sure anybody's going to get up there 4 times. Nope. Rupert avoids that. Now can Casas make the play? No. Good hustle by Rupert. And that's a teaching moment for a young baseball team for head coach Royce Carlton. You love to see your guys still hustling down the line, down 4 in the top of the 7th.
Looked like throw might have taken his foot off the bag. I think that was what the call was instead of the throw, because it looked like the throw was in time, but he wasn't able to keep his foot on the bag.
Yep. I think his foot was off the bag. I'd agree with you. It was going to be a close play if it had stayed on the bag. 1 on and 1 out. First hit that Hargrave has allowed in 6 batters faced. Beagle watches that go by for strike 1-1 the count. Beagle a single last time up. Didn't have that one located properly. Swing and a miss, 1-2 the count. Beagle batting .308 on the season. He was the third out in the 5th inning at third base. He's the second out here as he's a strikeout victim for the first time today. That's 3 for Hargrave, and of the 20 outs for Shelbyville batters today, 13 have been strikeouts. So here's Carter. And smacks that one towards center field early with the diving effort.
Catch.
And on a night where not many defensive plays were needed for Pendleton Heights, a fantastic one made in center to end this one. Pendleton Heights gets their 4th conference win in as many tries as they down Shelbyville by a score of 5-1. Joel, your final thoughts on this one?
Web Gem, if you will, think of an appropriate end, a way to end the game for Pelham Heights with a nice defensive play because they played pretty good defense tonight. Obviously got pretty good pitching and some timely hitting. It's easy for me to see why they are undefeated in the HHC right now. I thought overall a really good game for the Arabians and a well-earned victory to, as we talked about, stay undefeated and on top of the Hoosier Heritage Conference.
For Stoll, he'll get the victory. He's now 4-0 on the season. Beagle gets the loss for Shelbyville. He is now 1-2, and Hargrave gets the save, his first of the season. The Golden Bears drop to 4-7 on the season. They'll be at home to face East Central tomorrow afternoon, while again, Pendleton Heights now begins an 8-game road trip. They will be at the defending 4A state champ in Fishers tomorrow night, and the Arabians now 7-2 on the year. Joel, it was fun. Let's do it again tomorrow.
All right, sounds good to me.
For Joel Brandingham and our entire 9-Star Films crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. We thank you for joining us. Congratulations to the Arabians as they get the W at home today. You've been watching on 9-Star and the ISC Sports Network.